Alrighty then. So, going a little bit overtime there, but that's perfectly okay because now that we've done that, Greg is all warmed up. His vocal cords are ready to go, which means it's time for Why You're Wrong with Gregg Dietz.
All right, folks, if you're new to the stream or you haven't been to the podcast, what this segment is I basically pick something in the week that irritated the hell out of me and I explain why people are wrong. This week is the whole thing about easy mode in video games. So if you didn't know the story, what happened is Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I fucking feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong every time I say it. Uh, Shadows Die Twice came out, and um, it's a difficult game. It's a game that's made by From Software, who made Bloodborne and Dark Souls, and also Genocide. I didn't see what you said about Dark Souls and Bloodborne because I was on a tirade. Um, but uh, Kotaku came out with an article that was basically questioning whether or not Sekiro should have a difficulty meter, maybe an easy mode or something less taxing on the player than the game's single difficulty. And this sparked a huge debate that like game journalists only want easy mode and they're not good at games, all this kind of shit, which I hate because it's neither here or there. But it sparked an argument about difficulty in video games and uh, accessibility. One of the things I saw was Strippin, um, who he's streamed on Twitch. Like, if you don't know who Strippin is, he's on Twitch. Sam Thorpe, I want to say his name is. He's married to Dodger. Hold on, let me read this real quick. Genocide Squirrel says that just Demon Souls is exclusive to PS3 and Bloodborne is exclusive to PS4, and even though they are years old, they still won't release them on modern consoles in case Demon Souls and PC. Okay, yeah. Bunch of exclusivity shit. Yeah. It's. I didn't like that Destiny 1 and 2 have exclusive shit to PS4, and I'm playing an Xbox, but yeah. Um, it's there to sell fucking consoles. It's there to sell. That's the point of exclusives. Anyway, moving back to what I was saying. And Steven Spawn, who is a Spoon? Anyway, he saw the jokey comment that Sam made. And he was basically saying in his own thread, like, this kind of comment scares me because this is the kind of comment that spirals into no hard game, no games at all should have an easy mode. They accessibility options shouldn't exist because it's all up to the developer on how they want to make the game. And as I do agree with that to an extent, I do believe that it's possible to add or change the difficulty settings without ruining the integrity of the game. This is why 9 times out of 10, when you look at games, it says normal, easy, and hard. Because normal is how they want it to be played and be experienced. Um, uh, uh, um, and right after this happened, it's a huge spark debate, and then PC Gamer had an article where their reviewer for Sekiro came out and said, I beat the last boss with a mod and I feel fine, was the headline. Now, people reacted to the headline because whatever. And what the article talked about was that he played through the entire game without doing anything, without changing anything. And he got to the final boss and had a really, really, really hard time. To the extent that he basically said, if I was playing this casually on my own, I probably would have quit because it was just too difficult. And I would never have seen the ending of the game. But instead, I downloaded a mod so I could beat the game and end it and then do my review. People then started coming out of the woodwork saying that because he used a mod, because he cheated, his review is null and void, that he didn't have the full experience of the game, which I argue he did. He did experience the game almost in its entirety. He just used it on the final boss. But this sparked a debate of like, are you experiencing the game as it should be if you use mods or play on easy mode? My argument is yes, you're experiencing the game how you want to experience it. You're having fun with said game. And at the end of the day, that's all the devs really want. That's all they care about, is if you're having fun with their game. 9 times out of 10, devs do not lose sleep. I'm going to say fucking 99 times out of 100. Devs do not lose sleep over people playing the game the way they want to play it. If I went to a dev who made Halo and I said, hey, I love the game. It was awesome. I love the story. I beat the whole thing on easy. It was a great time. He'd be like, awesome. He wouldn't say, well, you didn't experience the game as I intended because you didn't play it on normal. No dev would fucking say that, period. And this was further implemented when Eurogamer had a conversation with 3 developers. David Jaffe, who straight up was just like, difficulty modes do not change the integrity of the game, straight up, out the gate. The guy who developed Celeste, who said he said he changed development mid-development cycle to add in accessibility options to the game. And one other dev who I'm drawing a fat blank on, but I think he worked at Naughty Dog, who said that accessibility options and difficulty modes absolutely do not change the integrity of the game. So these were 3 different developers. Now, again, this is 3 out of like thousands of developers that exist, who all have stated that adding this kind of stuff does not change the game. Now, From Software, the head guy, has said that, like, he's come out and said, we're not changing anything with the game. We're not adding an easy mode, yada, yada, yada. So Sekiro is not getting changed. But the debate is whether or not games should have these modes. Now, I do agree to the angle that we shouldn't be pressuring or pushing devs to put things in the game that they don't want to put in there. We should not be doing that. We should let devs make the game they want to make, and then it's released. Do I think it's important for developers to consider doing this kind of stuff? Absolutely, because this increases your audience. Like, straight out the gate, like, if Sekiro had an easy mode, I'd play it. There's a potential for people who don't want to have that kind of a stressful experience to play the game. I heard an argument that was like, well, that's what Twitch exists for. Do you know how obnoxious it is to just watch a game sometimes? It sucks. I have not played God of War. I had to watch all of God of War on YouTube because I don't have a PS4. I didn't want to do that. I would have loved to just play it. Same with fucking Spider-Man, which I have not touched. Point I'm getting at is that that argument is ridiculous. Because imagine if those games were on Xbox, I'd play them. But that's the point I'm getting at, is adding accessibility options increases your audience and potential to make some more money, or even from a artist perspective, to get more people to see what you created, to experience this art. And I think that's the important takeaway. We got to stop saying, like, well, that's not going to stop some people from saying it, but the ridiculous vitriol of, if you don't play a game on hard, you didn't really experience the game, or if you used mods or cheats, you didn't experience the game. That shit's fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. Everyone's cheated at a game. Everyone's used mods. Like, it's a fucking thing. It's for fun sometimes. Sometimes it's just, I just want a casual experience on this hard game. Like, it could be a number of fucking reasons why you use a cheat or a mod, and they're fine. It's really not a big deal. And if you want to gloat that you beat a game on the hardest fucking difficulty, great, good for you. At the end of the day, no one gives a shit. You're not getting a fucking ticker tape parade because you beat Halo 3 with Lasso on, which, if you don't know what that is, it's all skulls on. It's extremely difficult. No one cares. At the end of the day, no one gives a shit. Like, it doesn't. You aren't getting some internet clout because you did. Like, unless your own brain is enjoying it. So you gotta stop telling people how to enjoy games, period. If I want to play my games on easy, if somebody else wants to play their games on easy, let them play it on easy. Let them have a different experience that they chose to have. That is why it's so important to stop telling people. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's so important to stop telling people how to enjoy their games. Trying to tie this in, because when you do that, that's why you're wrong. Okay, got it.